The Spoon. This is Jayme and
This is Beth.
And we love to lick spoons.
Oh, yes. I licked a lot of spoons this holiday season.
Actually, I think every time I licked a spoon, I thought of our podcast.
Yeah, because it's the best part of the day. Although I have a terrifying story about licking the spoon that it just flashed. So one time I was eating yogurt and it was like really creamy, delicious yogurt. And I mean, like when you're in it, you're just like licking your spoon and there was like, it was strawberry yogurt. And I noticed on the back of my spoon, there was like a little piece of strawberry stuck. So I'm like trying to lick it off and it's like not coming. I'm like, what is this? I pull it out and the spoon had dishwater gunk on the back of it.
Oh, gross.
So I was like, just going ham on this leftover piece of who knows what. The spoon had gone through the dishwasher. I was traumatized. I literally couldn't eat yogurt for like a good 6 months.
That's so nasty.
It was one of the worst days of my life, honestly.
Yeah.
I had to throw the yogurt away and I was only like, two scoops in. So
that's sad.
it was really rough. So, but
we just tried a new yogurt that I think is really good.
Which is?
Give me a second.
Okay, it's coming. I feel it.
Newy Zooey. What is it? No.
Newy Zooey yogurt.
It's like a 4-letter. It's a 4-letter yogurt word.
A 4-letter yogurt word.
I can see it in my head. I don't know. It's good. It's lemon.
What does it start with?
I got a lemon one and I got a raspberry one. But it's Greek yogurt. It's really good.
Nice.
Zuni?
I have no idea. I don't eat real yogurt.
Zuni. Okay. I don't know what it is.
You know what? We're going to figure it out. And then we will put it in the show comments and everybody can taste the yuzy.
What kind of yogurt do you eat?
Non-dairy.
What's that made out of?
Coconut milk or oat milk or soy or almond milk. Yeah, all those things.
I bet I'd love the coconut one.
Yeah, it's delicious. Yoplait makes one and it comes in a glass container, which I really like because save the world.
Oh, and you can reuse it?
You can reuse it. And they actually have like dairy version too, but they're super cute. So anyway, speaking of our favorite yogurts, we are actually sharing our favorites from 2021 today.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very excited. This was a fun list to make. I did not realize how much media I consumed last year. It was quite a bit. So it was hard to put a list together.
I'm very curious if we're going to have any overlap or not.
Yeah. I don't know. One caveat to this is that we said that if you discovered it in 2021, you could count it. So if you saw Pretty in Pink for the first time this year, it gets to be one of your best ofs, even though the movie's 30 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the things, because I don't know about you, but I discovered a lot of things I hadn't seen in years past over the last 2 years, just because being home so much. And
it's weird, but I feel like I have watched less.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I'm not even, okay. As I'm talking to you, I think why is because our kids are staying up later because they were home all the time. And so we just got out of the rhythm, I guess, of them going to bed early and me having more time after they go to bed, because that's kind of when I will watch a show with Tony. And if they're up till 9 or later, by the time they go to bed, I'm ready to go to bed. I can't stay up. I can't do it. So we did watch some shows, but as far as movies, I've watched very few movies this year because they're just too long. I'm like,
can't do it.
I gotta sleep.
Yeah.
But we started watching half a movie and then watching the other half later. So yeah, there's the Geriatric coming out.
Yeah. So our first category are our favorite books that we've read this year. And I have a terrible, terrible, terrible confession. So I was going through like my library records, like the audiobooks I purchased and everything. And in all of 2021, I only read 3 books.
Okay.
Which is shocking. It shocked me quite a bit. And then I got embarrassed because I know you're in a book club. You're a big reader. I'm like, Jamie's going to have a list of 15 things. And I have 3 books I read, only one of which I kind of liked.
Okay.
So I don't have a best of.
It doesn't matter. That's fine.
Okay. So my best books that I read were Ready Player 2, which I don't know if you're aware of Ready Player 2. And Ready Player 2 is it's after Ready Player One, which is a major motion picture, but also based on this book. And it's like the perfect millennial book because it's all throwbacks to all the things we grew up playing and watching and whatever. And the story's good and everything. Number 2 was not as good as number 1, as many things are, but it was quite enjoyable. And the guy that reads the book audiobook, because I did an audiobook for this one, don't come at me. It still counts as reading the book in my life.
Yes.
But the guy that read it is Will Wheaton. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't think so.
He's like this actor that he's a fabulous reader. And because he's an actor, he just has a way about doing the audiobooks. So it was
that
kind
makes a
of
huge difference.
huge difference. And so it was just really enjoyable. Like I don't know. I just was like, put it on. I'm like crocheting and living my best life, like remembering all the things from when I was a kid. So it was really good.
Cool.
My other best book was The Midnight Library, which I kind of already talked about on this podcast. I didn't really love it, but because I only read 3 books last year, it is in my top 2 because at least I got something from it. I read another book that will not be named because it left me so agitated and annoyed that I just couldn't.
Now I want to know what it is, so I don't read it.
Oh, I was going to offer it to you today, too. I was like, here's a book you can read. It's like the Southern Woman's Book Club Guide to Killing Vampires. I don't know. It has a really long name. It had a lot of
I think some people in my book club actually read that.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It didn't vibe with me. Like unfortunately, the Black characters were really stereotypical and just kind of like, I don't know, one-dimensional. So it was not fun to read. There was a couple scenes that were just like, why is that? Why are you writing like that?
I don't want to read that.
I know. That's why I put the book away. I'm like, I'm not giving this crap to Jayme. Now, if you loved the book, that is on you. Like, that's fine. We're going to disagree.
Yeah.
And, I don't think less of you as a human. Maybe you shouldn't think less of me as a human if we don't like the same things. But whatever. I just, like to share my opinion. Anyway, so what were your top books?
The first one is The Book of Longings.
Okay.
It was so well written. It was so fascinating. Was not what I was expecting. I didn't know what it was about. It's about as if Jesus was married.
Okay. Ooh, controversial.
It is totally controversial, but it's actually not. That's not the point of the book at all. Mm-hmm. It's really about women and their voices and in that historical period, how they were suppressed and how, and then it's this one woman's story and how it's just so amazing. And the woman who wrote the book did like 4 years of research.
Love it.
About this book.
Love it.
Okay. The Book of Longings, really like that. And then the other book that came to mind was Circe.
What's that?
And it is about Greek gods. And I've never really read any books about Greek gods before, but it's about women, female gods. This one god named Circe, and it's her story, but it is so descriptive in the writing. I loved the writing. It was beautiful. I could just picture everything, and it was a beautiful story. I felt completely enthralled in this book, so I loved it. Those were my 2.
I love that. I love that your picks were just the way you talked about them. It was like,
yes, and I'm talking with my hands as well.
It's beautiful. Yes. Just like you're dancing with your book. Love it. So like a big thing for me is podcasts. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts. So what were your top podcasts of 2021 that you were just obsessed with?
This is so funny to me. I almost don't want to admit it because I listen now to Up First by NPR. It is a news podcast and it's like 13 minutes or so. And it just has the top news stories. And I feel like that's all I want. I'm not reading news anywhere else. I'm not really trying to find news and what's going on. Like I can listen to that podcast at 1.5 times speed. So less than 10 minutes and I've got the top news stories. And I feel like that's all I really want. So I appreciate that podcast. Yeah. So that's...
And we love NPR. I mean, NPR does amazing stuff.
Yes,
yeah.
And I feel like it's not too far right or too far left.
Just here are the facts.
Yes, that's how I feel about it. And I appreciate that. And so that's one. And then another one that I have discovered that I don't feel like I absolutely love, but I do go back to it. It's the Lazy Genius podcast.
Okay.
And I like her because that's another book I read this year was her book, The Lazy Genius. And I really liked her book. So I started listening to her podcast, and her thing is be a genius about the things that matter and lazy about the things that don't.
Love that.
That's what she says. And so I listened to her. And so I discovered both of those this year. Yeah. What about you?
I am obsessed with the show called Maintenance Phase. It is all about diet culture and just all of the lies we've been told about diets and food and bodies and how our bodies deal with food and just all of the junk that I think, especially for women, has been drilled into us of what does it mean to be healthy? What does it mean to be beautiful? What does it mean to be all the things that we are supposed to be? And it just dismantles them. And it's fabulous. Oh. It's so good. The reporting's amazing, like very well researched. And they just get to it. And they cite their sources. Like it's not just like people making crap up. So I love it. The co-host and the hosts are very, very funny. Love, love, love it. So
I totally have to check that out.
Yeah.
I think it's been recommended to me, like when I go to my podcasts, saying you might like this.
Yes.
And so I need to do that. I need to check it out.
The other one that I love, I didn't quite discover it this year, but it's pretty recent, is Radio Rental. And the host is Rainn Wilson from The Office. And basically he plays this guy, Terry, who owns a video store. And he does these little intros, and each video that you listen to is like somebody's story. And so it's just storytelling. And so a lot of the stories have like a creepy or weird element, not necessarily scary or whatever, but just something out of the normal happens. And it's just really good editing, really good storytelling. Like, I don't know, I just love it. And each segment's like 15 minutes. So you just get these really great, like 3 or 4 stories, and it's just wonderful.
I will say, when it comes to podcasts, my all-time favorite podcast that I have listened to ever since the beginning is For the Love podcast with Jen Hatmaker. I love her. I love her, and I love her podcast. So I got to say, that's still one of my favorites.
I have one more new favorite, which is our podcast, Like This Food. Like, I know I'm biased, and I know that like we haven't been around for long, and we're not the best, and we're still figuring it out and whatever. But I have to listen to our podcast multiple times for editing. But I'll find myself needing, like I'm cleaning the bathroom or something, and I'll just put an old episode on, and I just crack up at us.
I'm so glad.
Yeah,
I'm so glad. And I feel like that's kind of the point. It's an easy thing to listen to. It's not like you don't have to really think.
Yeah, you don't have to think, and it might make you giggle. Like I just need to laugh. You know what I mean? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So, anywho, there was a lot of new TV shows that came out this year. My list is long.
Okay.
Your list is
very short.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, so I have quite a few, and I really had to narrow down to the things that really just like spoke to me this year. And don't worry for anyone that is listening and you're like, oh, trying to remember these, or you really want to write these down, because our opinions and our choices are just so amazing. We are going to put all of this in the show notes. So no worries there. But my very, very first one is called Only Murders in the Building. And it stars Martin Sheen. No, that is not right.
I know what you're talking about.
I literally just like channeled the Goonies, like where Martha Plimpton's going like, Martin Sheen, you idiot, that's President Kennedy. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
I know who you're talking about, though. What's his name? Steve Martin.
It's Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez. And this show, first of all, made me fall in love with Selena Gomez. Like, I'm just a little bit older, where I didn't watch her on Disney Channel. And it's like, I started watching the show. It's so smart. It's so funny. It's so well done. And she's just lovely. So I'm like following her on TikTok now. So that was definitely like in my highlights. Like it was something I was excited to watch. And it's on Hulu. And they did a really neat thing because they didn't release all the episodes at once. So you had to watch it each week. And I kind of fell in love with that model because like, it's fun to like watch a whole season in like 8 hours, whatever. But sometimes I go overload. Like it just is too much. There's no time to process. There's no time to like just think about it and sit in it and just like enjoy the story. So
also having something to look forward to, and something that when you are ready to watch something, you have something. You don't have to try to find something.
Yes. And it was just, it was just really nice to look forward to. So that was a big one. The other one, let me just say, I watch a lot of shows. Okay. Jayme has 2. I have 27. The Babysitter's Club on Netflix. I have recommended that to so many people. It's super woke, and in the best ways. It's not like gross or whatever. And it's just like the sweetest stories. And it just reminds me of being a kid. And it's like there's drama, but not drama. I don't know. I just loved it. I just ate it up. I thought it was wonderful. In the same vein, the Punky Brewster redo on Peacock. Oh my gosh. Like it gave me closure that I did not know I needed, because Punky Brewster was my hero. I dressed as her for Halloween one year. Like it was a whole thing. I mean, I went through a lot with Punky, and like there was never that resolve of like what happened to her. She's like an orphan kid, and this old man adopts her, all this stuff. This is her being grown up, and she has this moment with her mom, like her birth mother, where they just have that moment of like not necessarily reconciliation, but definitely like figuring each other out as adults and like what had happened. And I'm sitting here crying like a baby, like I just needed this. I needed to know how Punky Brewster ended up. So that was amazing.
I'm so glad.
And it was really well done. It was funny. It's like when you can watch with your family, and I mean, it's a little goofy and whatever, but it's a sitcom. So that's what it's supposed to be. Ted Lasso.
Yes.
I can't. Like I had been like, I just eat that like candy. So it's just like a little piece here and there. let's be real. I don't really eat candy that way, but good chocolate, that's how I eat it, but I just don't want to watch all of them. I'm just like, an episode or two, like every other night or whatever. And then I take a break because it's just so wholesome and wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of kid shows on here, which is kind of shocking, but the Mysterious Benedict Society on Disney.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. We watched that.
It was great storytelling and just the visuals, like the color combinations they used. And it was just so smart and so interesting.
It was awesome.
Loved it. That was another one I was, because they didn't release them all at once. You had to wait for it. I'm like, oh, Disney making me wait. So then there's Real World Homecoming, which I grew up watching The Real World. So like The Real World, I think came out when I was like an early teenager or just headed into middle school. And do you know what The Real World is?
No.
Oh my gosh. The Real World, back in the day on MTV, they took 7 strangers, 7 like young adults, threw them in a house and like taped them for like 3 months and just saw the drama. It was one of the very first reality shows.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like groundbreaking. And what was so interesting, like now, I still think they do it, but now it's like very much like hooking up culture and just like the last time I watched. But before, there was a little bit of that, but there was like so much conflict. Like it was the early 90s and there was like race stuff going on in this. And so people were fighting it out. And like, I feel like when you're young, you have such strong opinions and like a lot of those opinions are still forming and you're gathering knowledge and information. And so they were just have it out. It was the best. They were so smart because they did a reunion with the first cast and now they've done one with the second cast. And just to see where those people are now, people that I looked up to as a kid and just like learned so much from, and just they go back and they talk about the issues they had and like look at it through a different lens. And it is so good.
That's so good. Yeah.
It is so good. And then last but not least on my list, this is not a new show, but I have to just make mention because I watch it all the time, is Sister Wives. I cannot get enough of this show.
You have told me this before.
Cody Brown, Christine Brown, like Mary, Janelle, like even if you listen, even Robin, like just like hook me up. Like I just want to just like say hi someday because they're just
really
no, but I just am obsessed. I cannot stop watching. The latest season is full of drama. There's a lot of tension in the family because of COVID, and as like the fans know, like one of the couples broke up now. So it's just like I don't know why I love it, but just like I really think families that have designed themselves and set themselves in an alternative way just always intrigues me so much. And so A Man with 4 Wives, it's just like, why and how? And anyway, love it, love it, love it.
Okay.
So now that I've embarrassed myself with my 87 shows, this is just...
That's actually not as long as I thought it was going to be.
Well, I had to pare down.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to look like...
Well, I want to know what the rest are too later because I appreciate your screening of these shows and weeding out the ones that are
crap.
And because there is a lot to choose from.
I mean, maybe we'll do a worst of, but we like to keep it positive, but there's definitely some that are duds.
Yeah.
So anyway, what were your top 2?
I had only one on my list, but after hearing yours, I have another one. So Ted Lasso. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. We loved that show. I loved that show. I just watched it with Tony, but loved that show. So that's my top one. And then when you were talking about the Mysterious Benedict Society, we watched that as a family. Loved that one. We were all totally into it. So that was a really good family one. And then the other family one that we watched that we really liked was Turner and Hooch.
Oh, that's amazing.
As far as family shows go, it was really nice to have one that both my 14-year-old son and my 8-year-old daughter wanted to watch because we have a hard time finding
middle ground,
especially when it comes to movies and stuff. And so everyone was okay with that one. So we liked it. I recommend it as a family show.
Love it.
Yeah. So that's mine.
Movies. So this was kind of hard, but there were some really good ones. The first one was this movie called A Good Liar. It is fabulous. It's about this woman who meets this man, and it's a older couple. The guy that plays Magneto in X-Men, like the Sir Ian McClellan, that's his name.
Okay.
I think it's Helen Mirren that plays the woman. Oh. Anyway, so they like meet, and it's like this whole thing, and he's kind of not who he says he is, and it's just this amazing cat and mouse game, and it was just so good. Like, I've watched that movie probably 50 times.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
It's really
good. Yeah. Not children appropriate, but really good. The Good Wife was really good. That was about a man, a writer who wins the Pulitzer for writing, and his wife and kind of their relationship through it. And fabulous acting. It's Glenn Close. And I don't remember the gentleman that acted in it, but it's just so good. It was delicious. There's a movie called Promising Young Woman. Obsessed. So it's about this woman. There's a tragedy that happens in her life, and she kind of decides to teach men a lesson. And so she'll go to these bars and she'll pick up guys and she'll pretend to be drunk, and they try to take advantage. And then she lets them know that that is not appropriate. And
I think I saw a preview for that.
It's an amazing story. It's really well written. It's interesting. It's a different perspective of, like a revenge movie for women.
Who's the actress?
I have no idea. She's like a character actress. So she's just a great actress, like, one of those people. And then Shang-Chi, the Legend of 10 Rings, like the 10 Rings. Oh my gosh. First of all, loving the diversity. Secondly, such a good story. I love the story about family. I love the fighting scenes. Like it was just, I don't know. I just loved, I'm not a huge Marvel fan. I'm not a huge superhero movie, but I'm like, I got down with that one. Like it was good. So, and then the last is Encanto. Oh my gosh. Obsessed.
Yeah. We just watched it I think we watched it on Christmas Day, or maybe it was the day after Christmas. So we just watched it too. Yeah. It's so good.
It's so good.
It really is.
And sometimes as an adult, if you go watch a quote unquote kids movie, sometimes it can just like, I don't know about this crap if it's going to really do it for me.
Yeah.
No, didn't even have my phone on. I was like, I must really like this.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it is really good.
I'm obsessed with Bruno. I'm obsessed. Well, I like the guy that voices him.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
But it was just so good.
It was. Well, Karis has been listening to the soundtrack now.
Yeah.
And dancing to it. And it's so well written.
Yeah.
All the songs.
Yeah. That drip, drip, drip song.
Yes.
I'm just like, that's my life. And I'm just like, okay. Yes. The pressure. The pressure is so real.
It was really, really well done.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited to have a list of movies now. Okay, my turn.
Yes.
So I went to one movie in the theater this year. So that's the movie I remembered when I thought about a movie, because I forget movies. Even if I have seen them somewhat recently, I can forget. So I saw In the Heights.
Oh, nice.
And it was awesome. I thought it was really, really good. I loved it. So I thought it was a really great movie. And that's what I put.
I'm glad you watched one.
In the theater. I know
yeah.
I've watched more movies than that. And I've watched like movies with my kids, but I don't remember. But the Encanto one that, we so just talked about. And then, In the Heights, both musicals.
Look at you. That's very on brand. Just saying. Like, you're just so cheery. Like, even right now, you're smiling. And I'm half frowning. So it's just freaking frack. So I love music. And I love that every year Spotify does that, like your year in review. So it shows you like how many songs you listen to and all your whatevers. This year, the amount of time I spent listening to music was like half of what I did last year. Just because I'm home and I'm not driving in my car anywhere. I'm just not doing some of the things where I normally would listen to music. I wasn't in the gym, any of that. But I did have some songs that really stuck out this year. I love BTS. Like the Butter song. I love it. Like so into it. And it's just like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I got into such a BTS kick that I'm like watching their documentary on YouTube. And I was just like, it was like nonstop. Like I couldn't watch enough of their stuff. My YouTube is forever changed now. So all my recommendations is like half BTS, half Sister Wives. So it was just like, it was just super, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I just love that song. I loved Billie Eilish's I Think Therefore I Am song. And the video was like in the mall where she's like in the abandoned mall running around. And I don't know. I like her stuff usually. There's this song called A Whole Lot of Money, and it's dirty. So I could never play it for you in front of children. And it's just like, I got found off of TikTok because it's like, it's a whole lot of money. Hey. It's just like, yes. And then of course, Up by Cardi B, like obsessed with it. Like that's on my morning playlist to get me ready for work. And then Pressure from my favorite movie now, Encanto. I'm just like drip, drip, drip. The stress is dripping anyway.
I love it.
And fun fact, and I think this is very important, every single year at the start of the year, I make a new playlist called like 2022, whatever year it is. And the songs that I listen to heavily, I just throw them in there. And then I make one for like my age. And what's great is like I throw all the songs that are about that year. And now I go back and it's like I've been on Spotify for a long time. So it's like, okay, like I go listen to 36. and I listen to those songs and they don't necessarily connect to me now, but I remember that they did. And it's like a little time capsule of like where I was mentally.
Such a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. I mean, I should do that. I would like to do that. I don't know if I will, but I want to.
There's lots of things we'd like to do and plan to do and hope to do. That's a great idea. Anyway, it's really been a nice way to look back and remember and just see the growth in your life.
I did artists. I did 2 artists and then I did 2 songs. But my son was very obsessed with the 21 Pilots earlier this year. And so we listened to so much 21 Pilots and they're really good. Mm-hmm. They're really good. So I am a fan. I'm a fan of 21 Pilots. I didn't really know their music before, but now I know a lot of their music. And okay, I put Taylor Swift, but I don't remember if her Folklore came out in 2021 or 2020. Well, she did, but she did like 2 in a row, like these 2 albums that were just a different kind of a sound for her that I thought were amazing. So I really, really liked those. And then the 2 songs that, again, I didn't put a lot of thought in this or research. I just did the top of my head. And so this song called Jerusalema, we have been listening to it a lot this week and dancing. And it's African. Okay. It's like an African. It's in another language. I don't know what language it's in, but I love it. So we've been listening to that. And then the other one, I'm almost embarrassed to tell you this for whatever reason, but I really like the song Aiko Aiko.
No, I don't know that.
You don't know this? Okay. It's like your bestie and my bestie.
Oh, yeah.
Sitting by the fire. Like that. It's like an island beat. That's the kind of music I love. And so I love that it was like popular, I guess. I don't know.
That's cool.
Or just like easy to find or hear in other places. Like, because that's the kind of music that I like to listen to. So those are mine.
Love it.
Next.
Okay. So as you know, I'm obsessed with beauty products. Jayme came to my house for my birthday and saw my secret shame of like, I don't just have like a shelf of beauty in my bathroom. I have a full-on cart, multiple shelves.
Yes.
All for different genres of products. Like it's pretty extensive. So I wanted to share my favorites that I've been using this year. Although you may not be able to tell today because I am in full vacation mode. My hair is like super not gelled down. My baby hairs are flying. I don't have makeup on. I didn't even think I moisturized today for Jayme. I was just like, nope, this is who we are right now. Okay. So I love this product. It's called the Caviar Anti-Aging Replenishing Moisture CC Cream, and it's for your hair. And so it's like a curl cream kind of, and I really like it. I got it in a box subscription type of thing to start, and I really just liked it.
That's how they hook you in.
Yes.
But it's nice to be able to try it out.
It was nice, and it was like a quote unquote free way to try it out, and it's expensive. It's like $58 for a not big tube. So I use it very sparingly. I love this product it's called Rodale's Dragon's Blood Hyaluronic Mask. I'm obsessed. So it's like a nighttime-ish mask that you can, I don't even know if it's doing anything. It just feels good to put on. It's just it's just hyaluronic acid.
You're like, I don't know if it does anything, but
yeah, I just put it on and it's at night and it just feels so good on my skin. And I don't know, I put that on and then a serum and then some moisturizer and then a oil and then I'm good.
Oh my gosh. Well, your skin looks amazing. So it must be all those products.
I thank you because it's kind of rough today. I found, and it's called Surfine. Maybe I'm probably saying this right. Botanicals. It's a lip butter mask. And I was looking for a lip mask forever. And this mask, it's kind of thick, which I like because I want something to really coat. So after I do all my skin routine at night, I put this on as a final leg. It's just like this luscious, delicious lip mask. And I put it on, I go to sleep, and I don't ever have like cracked lips or anything. I feel like my lips are subtle, not subtle. They are not subtle. They're supple and they're delicious. So anyway, highly recommend. I also found this new brand called, I think it's Hana. Again, if I'm saying these, it's fine. I have a hard time reading new words. Just live with it. But it's like a really kind of oily. It's like a thinner version of Vaseline almost, but it's a vegan skin nutrition calm cream. I don't know. But it's kind of like an oily thing. Anyway, you put it on and you just shine.
Mm.
And it's just like, it just gives you so much life in that moisture.
I don't need to put anything on my skin. It's very shiny, oily.
Well, you know what? But I'm an oily skin person too. And the thing is, you have to use a lot more moisturizing when you're oily because your skin is producing more oil because it wants more.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't moisturize enough because like, I'm already slick. I'm already greasy. No, you got to get that goose grease right up in there. Dwight Schrute style. Anyway. Last but not least is the Pattern Hair Care by Tracy Ellis Ross. So she's the lady from Blackish. She has like beautiful hair, and she came out with this line called Pattern, and I love it. It's great. They make different hair, like because there's different hair textures and types, and so like I don't really know mine. It's not super super curly, but I use their lightweight conditioner, but love it. It lasts forever. So those are my beauty go-tos for 2021. I'm very looking forward to finding more in 2022. I already made an order for Sephora. It came right before you came over today.
Oh my gosh.
It's sitting right there with new products. I'm very excited.
Oh, I need to look at that.
Yeah, I got some Fenty blush and some new
how fun
new
is
stuff.
that? Okay, I want to see.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, so I don't actually use a ton of products. And so, but I will say that I decided that I was going to try some new stuff. I bought some like a few different things from this one company called Ilia, and I am really, really liking the stuff. Yeah. And speaking of lip masks, so that was one of the little gifts that they included is this lip mask that I wouldn't have bought, but I am literally using it every single night because it is so awesome. Yeah. When I saw this list of your favorites, I was like, oh yeah, it's that. And this everything from Ilia so far that I have tried. And they have eyeshadow that's kind of like, it's called metallic and it's kind of like liquid, but it dries to powder.
Ooh.
And then I got a blush stick that is like a cream blush. And then I got this hydrating, it's not lipstick and it's not lip gloss. It looks like lipstick, but it's like a moisturizing lip balm.
Okay.
I think. And it feels so good and smells good. And it's just, anyway, I'm loving everything that I got. So, and by the way, I discovered a new mascara that I really like and it's super cheap. It is not clean, but I love it. It is Maybelline Lash Sensational Washable Mascara Blackest Black. It's in a pink tube or purplish. That's what it looks like. I
literally just bought that.
It is so cheap. It's like $6.
Yeah.
And I think it works. I've used expensive mascaras. I like this better.
I honestly like drugstore better than expensive because I moved to expensive mascara a few years ago, and it does not crack a lack for me. I just got one that was vegan, all this stuff. It's like $28 mascara.
Yeah.
I put it on. I'm like, it's already smudging down below.
No.
Nope.
This one is really good.
CoverGirl.
Literally $6.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of things I love. So, as you may know, I love TikTok. And one of the things I love most about TikTok is the recipes I find. And I don't find them very, very often. But I found one that's like my go-to now, kind of. Even though my doctor said I should probably stop eating dairy, I said, listen, I live my life, but I'll take your advice. So basically, it's so good. So, okay, this is called TikTok bruschetta, and I don't think that's exactly what the person says it is, but that's what I'm calling it. Okay, you take a ciabatta roll. Okay, you cut it in half. You put on top of it the matzo balls, the ones that you get in the store that are like in the tub with the oil. You put that on, you drizzle a little bit of the oil. I threw on a little extra Italian seasoning. You put it in your air fryer. Yes, I made this for my birthday when you were over here. You put it in the air fryer and you just do it for like, I don't know, 6 minutes. You just kind of watch it till the matzo's like melted. You bring it out. You add bruschetta on top, and you can get pre-made bruschetta. I got the best stuff at Costco. It was so good.
Yes,
so
it was.
flavorful.
Yes, it was.
And it was way easier than trying to dice and slice and all that stuff. And then you put a little balsamic like drizzle on it, and you eat it. And your life is like, this is amazing.
Yes, I want to eat that on New Year's. So like tomorrow or whenever that is.
Yeah. So, I don't have anything to help you with that, but yes, but it's so good. So anyway, that was my fave. That was the best thing I took from TikTok this year was that recipe.
Yeah.
And I literally had it for like dinner every single night for like 5 nights.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
so
terrible. It's so delicious.
Yeah.
Yum. Okay, so my recipe, I tried a new gingerbread recipe, cookie recipe, and they turned out, they were so good. The recipe was for gluten-free flour, which my flour is gluten-full. So I just used gluten-full flour. And they were amazing.
Okay.
They were so good. So that was mine.
Any other finds that we haven't talked about that you obsessed with?
We got paddle boards this year, and that was a great decision / investment / fun time. So we use them a lot, and I totally love paddleboarding. I like it a lot more than kayaking. So
that's saying something.
Yeah, that's what I want to do in the summer is a lot of paddleboarding.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then the other one I put was is a sweater vest dress, which is what I'm currently wearing.
Nice.
And I absolutely think it's genius, okay?
Yes.
Because I like to wear vests because I like to keep my core warm. But then my butt is cold.
Heard that as a reason
then
to wear
my butt is cold. And so now I have a sweater vest dress, which goes all the way down and covers my butt. And so
love it.
I love it too. I think this was made for me. The sweater vest dress that I'm wearing.
And you look adorable.
Thank you.
You don't look like, you look cute. You don't look like, no offense, like a weird soccer mom or anything. You know what I mean? Well, I don't know what happened there. You look like you have a look. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I feel like I do. It's called a sweater vest dress.
Guys, you heard it here first. 2022 coming. The sweater vest
and
dress.
Also, I don't care. I want my core and my butt to be warm.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. All right. Last but not least is just like, did you get any great advice this year?
Oh, yeah. Okay. You go ahead, because that I didn't really think about.
Okay. No. So I got some really great advice this year, and it wasn't directed at me. I was in a conference call, like, a video call. And there's a gentleman on there talking, and people were kind of doing small talk, which I hate. But they were asking people like, oh, what are you doing for summer? It was earlier this year. And the guy just said like, oh, I'm going to plan my summer well. And it made me think like, I need to start planning my life well, like start planning it to be fun and good and wonderful and not just like falling into things. So that's kind of like my mantra for next year is just plan your life well, like just plan it well so that you get to enjoy it fully. So really, really took that to heart.
I love that.
Yeah. So thank you, random guy at my work who'll never hear this. You've changed my world.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we didn't, I feel like we thought we were planning our summer well, but we put a little bit too much stuff in it. And so it felt a little bit more than I want the summer to feel,
Yeah.
So my advice to myself is to plan more downtime of where we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we can just literally be at home and
enjoy.
Go to the pool.
Yeah. Yeah. Any great memories from 2021? I had one just happen. So my cat, I love my cat. I promise this is not a cat podcast, but I love her. And my friend came over and we had a dinner and whatever. And he was like, oh, can I pick your cat up? And my cat has not really been handled by many people because, she just isn't. And so I'm like, sure, you can try. He picked her up and she attacked. And it was the funniest thing. She like went for his face. But claws were in, but she was just like, absolutely not. It was the best. Then my mom came over for the holidays and we were sitting at my table and we were working on something together. And my cat, she'll just jump up on me, to get up to where she wants to be with me on my lap or whatever. And she did that with my mom, but she used her claws to climb up her jeans.
Oh, no.
And so she jumped once and then she did it again. And my mom was freaking out. I'm laughing to the point where I thought I really was going to have to go to the bathroom. Like it was the funniest thing. And I'm like, I need to not promote this cat being so violent, but it makes me so happy to see. So
that is so funny.
Like this whole time I've been a little bit nervous that she was going to run up you at some point. And just like,
she hasn't yet.
Yeah, she's hiding.
She better not put those claws in my sweater vest dress.
I know. Like that would be the worst thing if she puckered that dress because, we have to replace it.
This is my Christmas present.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, honestly, I didn't get very far in the
I have two that are for both of us. I'm going to say, okay, so the one is that at my birthday, we played this game that was modeled after Cards Against Humanity, but it's Christians based, but it was so on point for how Christians are.
Yes.
And we just played and laughed and laughed.
So great.
And laughed. It was so good. And then my other great memory is just like recording Lick the Spoon. Like we just have so much fun when we get together. And I don't know, it's just such a great excuse to get together and enjoy each other's company and learn and grow. So
I agree.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, count those for me too.
Boom and boom. So that's it. That's our 2021.
Yeah,
2021 list of things that we really enjoyed. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a good year. It was, a hard year in a lot of ways, but I feel like it was a good year. And I was just glad that my kids went back to school.
Yeah.
I mean,
it definitely was better than 2020 for me. And I think there was a lot of change for me. Like I stopped youth ministry and I took on a lot of new things, which really put myself out there in ways that I haven't before. So I think that was good. I definitely don't want a personal growth year for 2022 at all. Like I want to just have fun and not have to like do any introspection. What is that? Or I don't have to like think about my feelings or, any of that. I just want to just be a party girl, but
for a whole year
of just like, what do you think, Beth? I don't know. I just do my life. So anyway, so here's to 2022 being full of new experiences and adventures and TV shows
and
TikToks.
licking a lot of spoons.